Hello, everybody. Welcome to Amar's Game Chat. I hope you're all doing well and staying safe. I am Amar, and today we have a lot to talk about. As I promised a little while ago, that I would make a video talking about all of the Pokemon Legends CA news right after the Nintendo Direct. And I did make that video, but we have so much more news now and videos to watch and everything that I'm kind of glad I waited to make it, because we can talk about that news and we can talk about the overview trailer here, and we also have a final trailer that they released for the game. So there's a lot to talk about. I'm gonna start with the overview trailer first, and then we'll talk about the Pokemon Legends ZA news from the Direct, some of my thoughts on it, and then we will just end watching the final trailer, because the final trailer ultimately is just an extended version of the trailer we saw in the Direct. So not really too much there new wise, except showing a couple other locations, some of the mega Pokemon that we know about, that's already been announced and everything, and then just some extra scenes from the game. But this overview trailer, I'm assuming, will probably show a lot more than what the final trailer showed, because it is 6 minutes long. But yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. I hope you all enjoy what this will likely be a Lumiose dialogue and data log video, and yeah, let's get right into it. I still like that they are marketing this as like a Nintendo Switch 2 game, because it very much is a Nintendo Switch 2 game in terms of the performance enhancements that the Switch 2 is offering to the game. But Pokemon Legends ZA, very, very cool. We're seeing Lumiose City right there. Very cool. Scizors right there.
To shape it into a place that belongs
Metagross,
to both people and Pokemon.
Salamence, Amura. Our character.
Here, you'll meet your partner Pokemon.
I am choosing Totodile,
adventure all your own.
which is very cool, Totodile. But we also got Tepig and Chikorita, obviously. Adventure through Lumiose City.
Wild zones can be found throughout Lumiose City. These habitats were specially constructed to give Pokemon places to live comfortably.
Larion. I think the wild zones are honestly very cool.
Without having to battle, you can catch a wild
And I like that
Pokemon by tossing a
they brought back
Pokeball
being able to
its
catch
way.
Pokemon in the wild without having to battle them.
But
I think the
watch
wild
out,
areas are
some
honestly
Pokemon might attack.
very, very cool.
When
And
that
like
happens,
such
it's
like a
time to battle.
cool thing,
Moves are assigned to the 4 face buttons.
I'll talk about it after, but I think it's something that if they ever go back to Lumiose City and
After
Pokemon
you
X and
use
Y
one, a move can be used again when it recharges.
after the fact, like in a couple, like maybe a decade or so, they can bring back the wild areas, and I think that'd be pretty
Careful
cool.
though, different moves recharge at different speeds, so consider
We're
which
seeing
ones
the
you want to use
the action
and when.
moves and everything, which is very cool.
Strategically planning out your next
Steelix,
move is key.
Simipour,
And keep an eye out for
Houndoom,
wild Pokemon that could overpower your
Alpha
team.
Houndoom,
If things are looking
the
tough,
cemetery,
it might make sense to run.
Camerupt.
Around
We saw
town, you can
Alpha
relax with your Pokemon
Ghastly
at
in
cafes.
this cemetery.
Try out the latest fashions.
Ooh, we'll talk about that
hairstyles,
after, but you can see the
and
prices.
makeup. And
on
even
the
have an
screen.
impromptu photo shoot at your favorite spots.
Squirrelex, Crocodile, Haunter, and we see a Spinarak back there. The ZA Royale.
When night falls, trainers duke it out to climb the ranks of the ZA Royale tournament.
Very, very cool. I mean, we've seen a lot of
If
this
you're
already
spotted, trainers will challenge you
from
to a
like the
Pokemon
previews and
battle.
everything. This person has a
Or you
Sableye
can
on their
sneak
team.
up on an unsuspecting opponent to try landing a
We've seen a lot.
surprise
I
attack.
think we've seen a lot about like a lot of the ZA Royale already, and like how the battling works, which
Win
is
enough battles,
I think it's a
you'll
very
earn the
cool
right to
battle
challenge a
system.
tougher
It's
opponent
very
in a
obviously
promotion
different
match.
than the
Everyone
traditional
starts at
Pokemon.
rank Z, with
Rank-
the goal of reaching the
Like
top
in terms
rank
of
A.
obviously it's not turn-based. You could probably like there's probably some Pokemon that some attacks you can use like back to back to back before even your
This
opposing
is Hotel
Pokemon
Z.
attacks, which I think would be very
It'll
interesting
serve
to
as your
see
base of
how that works in
operations,
game.
and you'll meet some friendly faces.
Hotel Z,
Helping out at the hotel is either
Urbane, or Tawny, based on the
an aspiring
protagonist appearance that you
dancer named
choose.
Lida,
Lida,
and a young fashion designer,
Naveen, very cool.
Together, you'll form Team MZ in order to protect
The middle of the
city.
alphabet, M to Z.
You'll also enlist the help of other folks, like Hotel
Like AZ.
Z's owner AZ, and the top
Floette,
detective in town, Emma.
Very
They'll
cool.
lend a hand in tackling some strange incidents in the
Ooh.
city.
They showed off some characters while saying that. Rogue Mega Evolution.
One of the cases you'll
Absol.
investigate is that wild Pokemon are mega evolving on their own.
We've seen
and
this in the
rampaging
previews,
across Lumiose
especially. We saw the Absol battle.
City. Together with your
Tyranitar,
allies on
Dragonite,
Team MZ,
Mawile.
You'll take on these rogue mega
Carnivore.
evolved Pokemon.
We also have our event
Your best bet
Garnivore
against these
that'll be
formidable
releasing at the
foes
beginning when the
is
game
to
releases.
Strengthen your bonds with your Pokemon and unleash
Garnivore.
mega evolutions of
Mega
your
Garnivore.
own. Do you have what it takes
Ooh,
to
look at all the Mega
pacify the
Pokemon.
rogue mega evolved Pokemon?
Whoa!
What's the mysterious cause?
Those
behind
multiple
the
Mega
rampages?
Mawiles. I guess we was using probably like copycat, not copycat, but like maybe double team.
You can
I think that's very
battle with
cool.
up to 3 other trainers by connecting either locally or online. Gather
Got
your
local
team
and online
see
play
who
with
can
this.
Take down the most Pokemon within the time limit. Show off your
Ooh.
trainer chops by using
See
all the
these characters.
moves and
I mean not the
mega
characters. These
evolutions
moves
at your
look so
disposal.
good. That's Hyper Beam, I'm assuming, and it killed the characters as well. But Hyper Beam looks so cool. Attacks look so cool. I think in a couple of the trailers we've seen, like shorter trailers they've released, like TV, what I would call like TV spots, like 30-second trailers. We saw like things like Serve, and it looks very cool. We saw Punch Pokeball. We saw trading right there. That means it's probably gonna be trade evolutions, which is very, very cool. We see the starter Mega Evolutions, the Kalos starter Mega Evolutions, Zygarde. Very, very
A whole
cool.
new adventure across
Pokemon.
Lumiose City is about to begin.
I'm assuming they just
Pokémon
traded
Legends ZA,
Mega Stones.
Available October 16th. Only on the Nintendo
Very, very cool.
Switch 2 and Nintendo
They're probably gonna go into
Switch
like event
systems.
stuff now. Oh no, not yet, not yet.
With enhanced resolution and frame
Oh, they're talking
rates
about
on
the
Switch
Switch
2
2 version.
You can enjoy a more visually robust and immersive
And the
adventure.
Pokemon Center theme is playing in the background for this game.
The Nintendo Switch 2 edition of the game can be played on a Switch 2.
That's cool. That's cool.
Please be sure to purchase the game edition that matches your system.
That's a
Plus,
good.
Nintendo Switch 2 players who have Pokémon Legends
Can
ZA
upgrade.
on Nintendo Switch can upgrade to the Nintendo Switch 2
This is a
edition by
good
purchasing the
advisory
upgrade
to make
pack.
sure people remember to buy the right version, and I guess to make sure people knew that there's a Switch 2 version out there. But yeah, that looked very good. That's probably gonna be our last trailer that we get for the game in general before launch in 2 weeks, which is crazy. We are 2 weeks away, but yeah, that looked very good. The trailer looks very, very good. I'm very excited. You know, we saw a bunch of Pokemon out there. Again, I mentioned like the wild zones, or wild. I think they're called wild zones. Not wild areas. Wild zones. I think they're very cool. It'd be like I don't know if we'll ever get a Generation 6 remake, because this kind of serves as our Generation 6 remake in some ways. But I think it is very cool. I hope that like if we ever get those remakes, that they bring them like they bring back the wild areas, wild zones in some way. Because I think, you know, looking back at, you know, Kalos in general and like Lumiose and everything, I think they'll probably want to implement like Pokemon Legends ZA and Pokemon X and Y into like a remake. You know, if they ever were to go that route, you know, they probably wouldn't want to cut off X and Y or Legends ZA. So implementing, you know, the wild areas into Lumiose City while still keeping like the X and Y story, maybe some segments of the ZA story, I think would be pretty cool. But overall, again, looks very cool. We saw a good amount of Mega Pokemon there, the known Mega Pokemon. We saw the starters again, which looks very awesome. We see that there's gonna be multiple Pokeballs in the game. I think maybe that, yeah, right there. We saw some of the Pokeballs. We saw the Heavy Ball, and the Love Ball and Dive Ball and everything. But yeah, very good trailer. Very, very cool. Again, less than 2 weeks, or we're at 2 weeks away, which is very awesome. But we do have a lot of news in general that we have to talk about. You know, from the Direct on September 12th, and you know, a lot of just different things to talk about. We got 4 new articles just on the Pokemon Legends CA website. We got the Mega. Well, actually, we probably should start with the Mega Dimension news because that is the biggest news of all. All of the things and announcements we got from the direct related to Pokemon Legends CA. But yeah, we got DLC releasing probably, I'm gonna assume, between launch and Pokemon Day. I think that is the general assumption based on the eShop listing as well. But it seems it's gonna be a pretty beefy DLC. It is $30, so I'm assuming we're gonna get maybe a whole different version of Lumiose in the game, which is very, very awesome. I think that's gonna be very cool, very fun. Like an alternate universe of Lumiose. I don't know if they have the trailer on here that's easily accessible. Yes, they do. So we can watch this as a background thing. Back when they revealed this, I didn't even know it was DLC until it said paid DLC on the screen. But we see Hoopa here, which is very awesome. And then we see a bunch of Mega Stones. I've watched a couple of videos about these, just in general, just to see which ones we know, which ones we don't know. And it seems like a lot of these we don't know what they're what Mega Pokemon or what Pokemon they're associated with, which is very awesome because that means we probably have maybe 10. Yeah, I'll go a little lower than that, maybe 8 new Pokemon that are going to be in this DLC, and maybe upwards of 12, 13, which is really awesome. We see obviously Mega Raichu, X and Y right here, which is very awesome. But yeah, we got some new Mega Pokemon. We got the Mega Dimension DLC. I'm not sure if the Pikachu, or not Pikachu. Well, one of them does look like Pikachu. One of them does look Raichu, have Raichu and Pikachu similarities. But I'm not necessarily sure that the Raichu would be a big part of the DLC. I'm assuming not. You might get one of them as a bonus Pokemon just for playing through the DLC, at the beginning of the DLC. But I'm assuming there's probably gonna be other Mega Evolutions that may be more permanent to the actual story that they're gonna try to tell with Mega Dimension. If I had to guess, maybe we have to obviously wait until the main game, but I'm assuming maybe Exarnius and Yveltal might get Megas. Maybe that'll be in the DLC. Maybe that's what the DLC is focused on. I'm assuming if Mega Zygarde gets a Mega Evolution, it's probably in the main game. But again, Exarnius Yveltal, I think will be pretty and that they can make the whole DLC framed around that, and that's the last battle or something. Which would be very cool, very fun. But yeah, we got some paid DLC announcement. And that's why I wanted, because the Holo X and Y apparel items that we saw in the other article that I was opened up first, that is the deal, the pre-buy bonus or the early purchase bonus. You get both of these. Well, actually, I'm not sure if it's an early purchase. Maybe just when you buy the DLC, you get both of these. But Holo X, Holo Y, I'll probably use Holo X because that is the version of the game, X and Y, that I have, and I really like blue, so Holo X. And then the early purchase bonus is you get 4 different Pokeballs, 3 each of them. So you get 3 fast balls, 3 lure balls, 3 level balls, and 3 heavy balls. And again, that will be available through February 28th. So that's kind of what I'm assuming is going to be right around then. The DLC probably releases, if not even earlier. So we just have to wait and see on that. But very, very cool. We got, obviously we got a little bit of information about Hoopa here. So Hoopa is a mythical Pokemon that can warp space using loops on its horns and around its body. These loops are stretchable and it can form holes inside of them, leading to far off places. Whatever passes through one of its portals can be transported instantaneously. It's fond of foods that have holes in them, especially donuts. What role could it have to play in the Pokemon Legends CA Mega Dimension DLC? Stay tuned for more details. We got Hoopa right there. And then we got our Mega Pikachu, Mega Raichu X and Mega Raichu Y. Hoopa's very cool, but Mega Raichu X is it says that it floats using electromagnetism and concentrates electricity into its fists. The repulsion of magnetic forces generated by its two tails allows it to float as it moves. Its ample subcutaneous fat can store up electric energy, letting it maintain a high electrical output and heightening its defensive capabilities. Using electromagnetism, it to propel itself swiftly through the air. It can take down opponents several times its size with a single blow of electricity charged fists. It bears a distinctive resemblance to regular Raichu. So we got one that looks like Raichu, and then we got one that looks like Pikachu. Mega Raichu Y strikes swiftly and bathes its foes in electric power. Mega Raichu Y's greatest strength is its ability to unleash its power instantaneously, so it excels in short, decisive battles. The electricity it can generate in the electric sacs on its cheeks have been powered up. The energy generated in these cheeks pouches is amplified as it courses in a zigzag pattern between its tail and the spiky horn fur on its head, letting it unleash powerful electric type moves. All this electric energy gives it a wild and combative temperament, causing it to eschew tactical maneuvers in favor of straightforward approach to battling. It bears a distinctive resemblance to Pikachu. So yeah, Pikachu looking right there. And then that's it. They're both mouse Pokemon. Mega Pikachu Y is a little shorter and weighs a little less than Mega Raichu X, which is totally cool. But yeah, we got our two Mega X and Y's here. I'm honestly thinking that maybe they will go back and maybe one of the Mega Stone or two of the Mega Stones in the the Mega Dimension that we're being transported into. Maybe one of them's like a Venusaur, one of them's a Blastoise, and then we get Blastoise X and Venusaur X, and then Blastoise Y and Venusaur Y, or maybe just Blastoise Z and Venusaur Z, and maybe we get a Charizard Z or something like that. Because obviously all of the Pokemon that they've already done that with, being Charizard, Mewtwo, and now Raichu, are all from Generation 1. So I feel like it makes sense for them to go back and also apply, that same idea to Blastoise and Venusaur. But, besides that, we got our Mega Chestnut, Mega Delphox, and Mega Greninja, which are all right here. The way that we know to get them right now is through the different ranked seasons. So I'm assuming you just got to participate maybe one or two matches, and then maybe at the end of the season you'll get the Greninja, the Delphoxite, and the Chestnut. We just have to see on that. This could also be one of the ways that they distribute the Mega Evolutions that are at this point exclusive to the DLC. So for those that don't play the DLC, maybe this is a way that you'll be able to get Mega Raichu X and Y at some point in the future. Because it says details about Ranked Battle Season 4 and future seasons will be announced at a later date. So I think this would be an easy way to distribute them. Maybe not immediately after the DLC releases, but maybe. But I guess we have to see how long these seasons last. But maybe if they last once a month, maybe the DLC releases in January, because maybe Greninja's October, Delphox is November, Chestnut's December, and maybe the DLC releases in January alongside Mega Raichu X being on Season 4's reward or something like that. But still, it's very cool. The designs look very cool for these three. I believe they have their own sections here. Yeah, so we got Mega Chestnut, the Mega Evolution of the spiny armor Pokemon. Its hardened armor boasts high defensive capabilities. When Mega Chestnut moves to attack, this armor becomes a powerful weapon with which to smash opponents. It is the spiky armor Pokemon. It is grass fighting. It weighs 198.4 pounds, and it is 5'3", 5 foot 3 inches. A hardened outer shell greatly bolsters its defenses. Energy from Mega Evolution has been channeled through its outer shell and throughout its body, resulting in a dramatic increase in its defensive capabilities. The fur on its body has also grown and can act as an impact absorbing cloak. Confident that it can withstand any sort of attack, it possesses a steadfast spirit and remains level headed. And then the other section says its shield-like shoulder armor transforms into destructive weapons. When it removes a piece of its incredibly tough shoulder armor, spikes extend from the shield to form an axe-like weapon with a long handle. The shield-turned-axe head is so heavy that even Mega Chestnut's brute strength isn't enough to easily wield this weapon one-handed. But gripping it with both hands makes it possible for Mega Chestnut to use its weapon with exact precision to beat down foes. We'll obviously see that in game, but we'll also definitely see that when like Pokemon Champions releases, and maybe that's like associated with his ability. We'll see about that, but I think that's very cool. I think it's very cool that Chestnut can take a shoulder pad off and just beat people. I think that's just it's cool. I think it's gonna look really cool in the game, and it's and maybe it can also act like a shield. We have to see obviously in game, but very cool. And they got Mega Delphox, which is the Mega Evolution of the Fox Pokemon. It uses psychic powers to confuse opponents, making it for a tricky fighting style that allows it to unerringly deal damage. It is the Fox Pokemon. It is Fire Psychic. It is 86 pounds, and it is 4 foot 11 inches. It mesmerizes opponents using its psychic powers. Its psychic abilities have been enhanced. Mega Delphox controls 2 branches that float side by its side. It moves these branches as if they were brought to life by its magic, leaving onlooking opponents bewildered. It also floats atop a large lit branch, dazzling its foes even further. In contrast to its disoriented opponents, Mega Delphox stays calm and collected as it deals damage by landing precise attacks. And then it also, after confusing opponents, it incinerates them with scorching flames. Mega Delphox attacks its foes by skillfully coordinating its moves in tandem with the 2 lit branches floating nearby. And there's more. These seemingly autonomous flames don't just confuse the opponent, they can also be combined with flames Mega Delphox splits from its mouth, forming a huge fireball that engulfs and burns its targets, which I think that's what we're seeing here. I mean, I have to assume that's what we're seeing here, but that's a very cool attacking mechanic. I think it's gonna be like, this game definitely has a lot of, I think, fun animations. I talked about like the surf animation. We saw Hyper Beam in the overview trailer. I think they definitely, I think, put a lot of more time into making these animations, and like detail them a lot more, and just made them a lot more of like a visual, quote unquote masterpiece in my opinion, but like a visual showcase. I think that's very fun. And then we got Mega Greninja, the one I will be choosing or like using my team. I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to choose or how we're gonna really get these outside of the ranked battles, but Mega Greninja, the Mega Evolution of the Ninja Pokemon, it uses its incredible reflexes to launch attacks at opponents while they are distracted by the sight of it clinging to a gigantic water shuriken. It's a ninja Pokemon. It is water dark. It is 88.2 pounds and it is 4 foot 11 inches. This ninja Pokemon forgoes stealth to make full use of its sharpened reflexes. Unleashing the energy of Mega Evolution has dramatically improved Mega Greninja's reflexes. It intentionally reveals itself to push opponents into attacking. Then it detects their incoming attacks and moves so swiftly that it's able to strike first. Normally, Greninja would appear in a flash and disappear like a ninja. Now that it has Mega Evolved, it no longer bothers to hide inside itself, demonstrating to opponents its confidence that it will win. Clinging upside down to a gigantic and rapidly spinning water shuriken, it clings upside down to a giant floating water shuriken that was created from a gel-like membrane secreted from its body. Opponents caught off guard by its surprising appearance are then wrapped up in its long tongue and prevented from attacking. It charges towards immobilized opponents to attack from its gigantic and rapidly spinning shuriken, which is very, very cool. This was obviously water types are always my favorite, so Greninja would be the one that I would use. You know, I'm not sure I would use it now that obviously we also gonna have a water starter in the form of Totodile and Feraligatr, but still very cool, very fun. You know, those three are very fun. I'm glad that the Kalos starter trio is getting Mega Evolutions, because obviously, you know, I think that was like the weird thing about the original games. You know, the major mechanic of X and Y is that they have Mega Evolutions. You know, Mega Evolutions introduced, and then the Pokemon that you probably use the most doesn't have Mega Evolution. It didn't bother me that much back then. It did, and in theory, I guess if they didn't get them now, it wouldn't bother me that much. But I think it's very cool that they are getting, you know, Mega Evolutions. And that is pretty much it for the news as a whole. You know, we got a lot of news from the Direct. We got a lot of information from the overview trailer. We got the final trailer, which I will have to pull up now at the end of this video. We'll talk about that. You know, but again, it is very much just a extension to the trailer we saw in the Direct. But yeah, you know, we will obviously, I'm going to attach my little discussion about that here. But if this is where you decide to, you know, part ways with the video and get ready for your adventure in Lumiose City, we are 2 weeks away from the release of the game. So I hope you all are as excited as I am to go back to Lumiose City. What will appear about 11 years later, like in game, for us to be like very close to 12 years, if not over 12 years since then. So very, very exciting. You know, I don't think we're gonna get much information from now until October 16th. So we just have to wait. We have to just, you know, we've been getting a lot of previews. I think the last preview will be the final preview, but we did just get previews as well that showed things like the Rogue Mega Evolution battles and like a little bit more exploration of Lumiose City. But besides that, you know, I guess the last thing that we will be getting like major information from would be like the reviews, but those probably won't come out until like Tuesday, like the Tuesday before the game releases. So, you know, we have around 10 to 12 days without really anything major news related to the games right now, but I'm very excited for them. You know, I'm actually tremendously excited for them. I'm tremendously excited to just go back to Lumiose and Kalos and just see what this game is, you know, play it through it, have a lot of fun with it. And then, you know, probably talk about the DLC after the fact, you know, start theorizing about the DLC. But yeah, that is all I have for you all today. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Again, we'll have a little bit of discussion about the final trailer at the end, but if you are excited about Legends CA, please feel free to talk about it down in the comments below. Leave your starter choice down in the comments below. But without you know, nothing else to talk about right now, I hope you all do make you happy because it rhymes with my former name, Generic Cappy, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye. And if you stayed, you know, just to watch my little discussion about the final trailer, here it is. Here's my, you know, just talk about the final trailer for just a couple minutes while it's going on. So, but you know, we didn't like see this part in the trailer and the Direct. You know, we didn't see our character going to Lumiose City. I don't know if we saw the Fletchlings there, but Talonflame, Game Freak, our 3 starters, which is very cool. Again, Totodile, Tepig, and Chikorita, Emolga, and like we see like a bunch of different locations here, which is very cool. We're assuming this is the Catacombs, which is gonna be, you know, underground. Maybe we'll be able to explore those, and like that'll be a major part of the game, which will be very fun. And then again, you know, a lot of the stuff again is what we saw like just in the overview trailer as well. But still, I think the music in this trailer is very cool. It's something I've been listening to since the final trailer released, just because, you know, it just sounds very cool. It sounds really fun. It gets me excited for the game. Yeah, you know, Numo, Barnacle. Pyro right there. And then we go to the nighttime and we go to the ZA Royale, which is very cool, very fun. Shumpert, Manectric. This music is very cool. It's a very fun theme. And we get to see our, this is like from when I remember from like watching the trailer and the direct. This is kind of like where they showed off the Mega starters, and I was like, oh, they just evolved Mega Lapsol. That's it. And then they showed off the Mega, trio from Kalos, which is very fun. Chestnut, Delphox, and Greninja. Very, very cool. Mega Dragonite. Very fun, very fun. Mega Manette, Mega Camera. And then, that's pretty much, it. We get to my favorite part of the trailer, music-wise, right now. Just because it's just I don't know, it just sounds really good. And it's a good way to head into the game, in my opinion. It's very boppy. It's very boppy music. But that is it, pretty much. At the end of this trailer, we did see right there. That's probably this is probably the big centerpiece of the game. Dealing with whatever's going on with Lumiose Tower. But we get the information about how to get the 3 starters there, and then Ralts, the Ralts mystery gift, and then the Pokemon mystery gift, and then the Mega Dimension, and the extra bonus that you get for pre-ordering or downloading the Mega Dimension. But yeah, I like the way this trailer was. I like that they extended it. This is the final trailer, besides I guess the overview trailer, but this is the final trailer in retrospect, so we won't really be seeing any more Mega Evolution reveals beyond this. But yeah, again, the trailer looked very good. I'm very excited. We saw a bunch of Mega Evolution there. Obviously, we're gonna have some Mega Evolutions that we are gonna be caught by surprise with when the game actually releases in, again, 2 weeks. But yeah, that is all again I have for you all today. So very good trailer. Again, we're our big conflict will probably be dealing with whatever's going on with Lumiose Tower right here. But yeah, let me see if I can get back. Yeah, what's going on with Lumiose Tower there? It's like every Pokemon gonna start mega evolving. Who knows? But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you all are getting ready for the release of Pokemon Legends. Yay! But without further ado, again, I hope I will see you all again in the near future. Make sure to make you happy, because it rhymes with my previous name, Generic Happy. And goodbye. Pokemon Legends ZA is it is 2 weeks away.